Hello, this is Erica Sickles from Lutheran Counseling Services, and I'm here to talk about our focus for this school year, resilience. Now, resilience is bouncing back from the negative things that happen in our lives. And to talk about building resilience, we're going to start by looking at a scale to see how balanced we are. Now, all of us have things that happen in our lives that are negative. This could be things like sickness, divorce, not having our needs taken care of like food or safety. And then all of us have things that happen in our lives that are positive. And these are things that promote our resilience. Things like having at least one trusted adult in our lives who's consistent, having good friends and social support, having people we can count on, having a spiritual belief system that connects us to something larger than ourselves, and having a sense of purpose or a goal for our lives. And these are the positive things that help us to be more resilient. If we look at our scale, all of us can do a little checking in to see how balanced we are. Some of us may have more negative things that have happened in our lives. And as we notice that, it tips our scale away from being resilient. These negative things can impact our feelings, make it difficult for us to concentrate, and can even affect how healthy we are. But as we add positive support systems to the other side, a coach, a mentor, a counselor, a teacher, a neighbor, a parent who's been there for us, good friends, the ability to focus on things that we are good at and learn and grow, we can see that we come back to being balanced or tip toward resilience. Now, some of us are not quite as balanced to start out. And this can be because in our growing up years, we had a lot more negative things happen. So you might see as we move this side of the scale, it tilts more toward negative things and away from resilience. So some of this can relate to our genetics, the way our body was built, the way our brain works, and just the way each one of us was made up. And we know that we can't take away what has happened to us, but we can lessen the burden or lighten the load. And that can be in a couple of different ways. The first is to stop any negative things that are still going on. So this can be to make sure we're making healthy choices to handle difficult things, finding things that we need to be safe and stable, and getting some help, maybe from a teacher or counselor if we need that. We can also add positive things to the other side by focusing on things that we can change and accepting things we can't, by finding social support in friends and trusted adults and coaches and teachers, and building in healthy ways to cope with things that are difficult, that are going to happen to us. And deciding that we can be kindness tippers and tip the scales for ourselves by being kind to ourselves and by being kind to others. And so this idea of the scale is really helpful to understand and think about how balanced your scale is. Is it a little unbalanced? How about your family members? How about your friends? What can be done to help tip the scales in a more positive way to build resilience? And if you find that you need a little bit more support in building those positives, that's what we're going to talk about. There are many ways that we know, backed by science, that we can add a lot of positive supports to become more resilient. So we'll talk about those too.